Hi, everybody. It's Molly Smith. So great to see you all. Lauren and Brienne, I can still see you for some reason. I hope you can actually hear me. You can let me know if you can't. This is a new computer that I'm working from, so I'm not really sure if everybody can hear, and I just hear from Arena Stage that you guys can hear me. I can still see your imagery out here, guys, so I don't know if anybody else can. It may just be on mine. I think I'll just change mine to just the speaker view or something else. Gallery view, full screen. Nope, none of that worked. Interesting. So this is what happens when you get a new computer, right? Everything changes. But it's great to be here tonight. Tonight is a beautiful, beautiful time in Washington, D.C. The weather is gorgeous. There's a little bit of wind and everybody's getting vaccinated. So it's pretty exciting. This is our weekly program every Thursday where I interview innovative thinkers and creative firebrands. And we're living through a critical time in American history, the COVID-19 pandemic and a vital social justice movement led by Black Lives Matter. And our guests are a variety of artists and leaders discussing new ideas, how they're coping with the coronavirus and making positive social change, as well as showing us those wonderful glimmers of hope for the future. And I think we are living through a great moment of hope right now, right? It is super, super exciting to be able to feel that. And my guests this week are Juliette Carrillo, who's a director, a writer, and filmmaker, known to arena audiences most recently from Two Trains Running, and Rona Siddiqui, musician composer with Arena Riffs, A More Perfect Union, which just aired last night, which is fantastic. So make sure you see it. Juliette is a nationally recognized theater director, writer, and award-winning filmmaker from Los Angeles, California. She's a graduate of the Yale School of Drama, and she's directed critically acclaimed productions across the country, including plays at Oregon Shakespeare Festival, Seattle Rep, South Coast Rep, Magic Theater, Alliance Theater, Arizona Theater Company, and Yale Rep. She's really known for developing new plays and has done numerous workshops in regional as well as New York City theaters, such as in the Public and the New York Theater Workshop. And arena audiences will remember Juliette's work in Two Trains Running. And Juliette was a member of Arena's Alan Lee Hughes Fellowship Program. Juliette, what year was that?
Oh my God, you're gonna age me. It was early 90s.
Early 90s, fantastic, fantastic. So I wasn't there yet, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, I wasn't there yet.
It was under Doug Hughes.
I mean, that is one of the best programs, I think, in the country. The other day I realized, kind of counting people, we've had over 700 people in the program.
Wow.
79% are still involved in the theater.
Amazing.
Isn't that incredible?
Yes. I hope my next door neighbor just happens to be mowing their lawn. I hope that's not getting in the way of our sound.
I love it. I think it's going to be one of those nights where there's going to be this that happens and that happens. I love it. No, it's great. Not only are you really a wonderful director, I mean, you took Two Trains Running that had been in a proscenium. We brought it to Arena and you directed it for In the Round, which I think you were able to do so quickly because you're a choreographer and a filmmaker too. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, definitely, I don't identify as a choreographer or even a filmmaker, even though I'm making a film right now. It's not my primary thing, but I think I like to dabble in a little bit of everything. And yeah, I think that's probably what served me at the time. It actually happened very organically, very easily. So I also think because Misha and I, the set designer, Misha Koshman and I were thinking about it for so long that by the time we got there, it was just like, oh yeah, we know what to do. So
It's
yeah,
so interesting.
it
Yeah.
really just fell into place.
Now you're in LA right now.
Correct.
And how is it? Is it starting to open up post
It is.
COVID, or what's happening there?
It is. I mean, the numbers are getting better and better, and areas are opening up. We're going to different levels. Every day is a different story. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not even keeping track anymore. I'm just, because you can overthink these things and worry too much, like what's going to happen next. And so I'm kind of just waiting to hear, okay, you can go do your thing now. I'm in the process, like I said, of doing a film. So I'm hoping that we are able to kind of loosen some of the restrictions of the film. So
Is this the film Super Chicas?
no, you look at my website.
What's the film that you're
I'm
working on now?
I'm actually just doing a student film. It's a devised film, which has been really interesting. It was supposed to be a devised piece, and for theater, and under COVID, we changed it up and decided to make it into a film. So we've been doing a number of improvisations based on the theme of DNA and family genealogy. Oh, great. Yeah, my phone never rings.
Say this is real life. This is real life. This is what happens.
This is, welcome to my world, everybody.
I love your world, but Super Chicas is such a deep name.
Yeah.
And talk about what the inspiration for it is.
Well, that was a film that I wrote. It's a full-length screenplay. And I'm Mexican American. And honestly, I came up with this idea way back, like before the big boom in superhero films. So we're talking way back. And I wanted a superhero film with Latinas. And so I came up with the concept, and I didn't know how to write a screenplay at the time. I took some workshops, and I actually got involved with this organization called NALI, that doesn't exist anymore, National Association of Latino Independent Producers. And they gave me some money, and I shot a couple of scenes from it. And actually, Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin was in it. And Stephanie Beatriz, who is on Brooklyn 99, was in it. They were the two Super Chicas. And we shot some scenes, and I went through the whole, the film. In order to get a film produced, you really have to have a lot of money, a lot of stars, a lot of, connections. And I just didn't have all that. And I got tired of doing the, begging at people's doors. So I haven't been working on it, but it's still sitting there. It's like a great, I think it's still, current, obviously, because we still need Latina superheroes.
You bet we do.
Anybody out there wants to read my script,
come on out.
The pilot version, I actually think it'd be a great TV series. So it's kind of MacGyver-ish. That's how they get through their obstacles, is they use their wits as opposed to their brawn.
I love that. And I think you also have a SoundCloud link to share of another project, which you were going to share in the chat room, right?
That's right. And I will share that in a moment. Yes, I got it right here. This is my first radio play, and it was done in partnership with David Molina, who did the sound for 2 Trains Running. And now it's playing. It's just, I'm giving you the full spectrum of my world.
You're giving.
So here it is. It's called $10 Taco, and it's about the Mexican food industry, high-end Mexican food industry. So there it is.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Well, so people who are listening today, make sure you check out $10 Taco and see what Juliette is up to. You did a world premiere of Anywhere But Here.
Yes.
by Carmen Aguirre. It was
Mhm,
produced by the electric company in Vancouver, Canada. Are there
mhm.
still plans to tour, or what's next with it?
Yes, that show opened literally 2 weeks before COVID hit. In fact, I was at the airport on the way home and I was seeing people with masks coming from Asia. And I just got this flash of the future, you know. This was before we knew how serious it was. It was really like mid February. Um, and yeah, so it was really I think considered the largest fully produced Latinx play in Canada. Um, and if I was prepared, I would show you the trailer. The trailer is pretty cool. But anyway, the plan was to tour it throughout Canada, and hopefully it'll be touring United States as well. That's the plan. It wants to go. They want to go internationally. They do tour a lot of their shows internationally. So yeah, Carmen Aguirre is a Chilean Canadian, and her work is all very autobiographical. It's really her experience as a refugee. She left during the Pinochet reign with her family and went to Vancouver, and so you know, a lot of her plays are written from the perspective of someone who's gone through the trauma of that experience, but she does it so, she writes about it so beautifully with such humor and beautiful language. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of her work. It's the second play I've directed of hers, and I'm excited to go back to it. You know, that's the plan, to get it on the road. So it's quite large. You know, the set is quite large, the cast is large, but the electric company is raising money in their game. They've got big plans. So
You know, it's interesting. I think for those of us going back to projects that we have done before, talk to our audience about what happens with a play or a musical that's had a gestation period of 13 months, 14 months before you go back to it. What do you think happens with the actors and the artists?
well, you know, some of it is healthy. You know, it gives us time to ruminate and time to just kind of marinate on the material. I've already had some dramaturgical meetings with the dramaturg and the playwright about the play, about making changes. You know, it gives us a little bit of distance so we can think about what we want to say on a deeper level. I think it's really hard on the actors. They're kind of caught midstream. They really kind of hit a certain level, a certain height in the performance. So I don't know. I don't know how they feel right now. I can imagine that it's frustrating, and not to mention the financial difficulties of the time and how that's hitting them. So, you know, it's hard for me to speak to their experience. I feel very blessed that I have a university job right now, so I'm able to support myself during this time. But many of my colleagues are freelancers, and it's hitting them quite hard. So yeah, it's a difficult time. I don't need to tell you.
Yeah, it's been such a difficult time for all of our artists. You know, 98% of artists lost some work, and 63% lost all work. And 63%, it's our performing artists, right?
Yeah.
They've all lost work. I mean, it's really a dangerous time. And I guess one of my biggest fears is that it's like after the AIDS epidemic, when we lost so many people in the theater and so many great voices. And I fear that that's going to happen again, because we have so many people that have left the profession now. You know, the vaccine is such a glimmer of hope for us right now. And I'm
Absolutely.
hopeful that people can hang in just a little longer.
Yeah. I think people are going to be clamoring to come to the theater when all this is over. I really do. I think people that normally don't go to the theater are going to be like, I want to sit in a room with a bunch of people and experience the energy of the theater.
I totally agree.
I think there's going to be a renaissance.
Yep.
theater.
Yep.
And I think there's I'm hoping that the playwrights are writing. I think they are. They're writing right now. So, and it's such an important time. There's just so much material coming out that I think resonates on a deep level. So I think we're gonna see some great work coming up.
I agree, Juliette. And our time, unfortunately, is up, but it was wonderful speaking to you. And it was really wonderful having so many different things that happened, whether it was the lawnmower outside or the ring of your phone. And I sort of love that.
My radio play kicking in.
And your radio play kicking in. That's exactly right. I loved it.
Dog. You're my dog.
I just heard your dog. So real life, Juliette. So hope to see you soon in person.
In person. Best to you, Molly.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Rona Siddiqui is an award-winning composer, lyricist, orchestrator, and music director based in New York City. She's the recipient of the 2020 Jonathan Larson Grant and the 2019 Billy Burke Ziegfeld Award, and was named one of Broadway Women's Fund's Women to Watch. Her shows include Salam Medina, Tales of a Afghan, an autobiographical comedy about growing up bi-ethnic in America, which had a developmental workshop at Playwrights Horizons in November of 2019. Also, One Good Day, Book and Lyrics by Liz Suggs, which was selected for the ASCAP DreamWorks Musical Theater Workshop with Stephen Schwartz in LA. And of course, she is the composer from one of our wonderful arena riffs, which just premiered last night. So welcome, Rona.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I want to start out because we're on the riffs right now. So, and we're going to play just a tiny bit of it at the end, just as a little teaser for people. How was it working in this multimedia form? I know you've done it a lot before. And what would you say is the most striking thing that you learned about yourself or your country in the writing of this?
Throwing me a big one right out the gate. I think, when you say I've done it a lot, only within this time period of the quarantine had I gotten into working with animators and videographers and creating visuals in this way. I was just a theater person, writing my songs and my plays before. So it's so fun to kind of add this new kind of collaborator into my circle, and to be able to communicate I'm not a very visual person, honestly. So all I can do is say, here's what my words mean, and here's what my music means, and maybe it looks like this, but I leave it to you. So it's been so fun to kind of find the people that get what I'm trying to say. And I think I found 3 incredible artists who totally got it with the Arena Riffs piece.
And all 3 of them are so radically different.
Radically different. And that I did on purpose. I knew they were just such different artists, like Doug is, he has like the puppeteer brain, and it's wild and wacky and colorful and bright. And Roger uses multimedia and fast-paced imagery and dance and all that. And then Em is an illustrator, just a straight-up, exceptionally beautiful, gifted illustrator. And it was a delight to work with all 3 of them on that.
And when our audience watches A More Perfect Union, what would you like them to be thinking about going into it?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because my sister was saying last night, she was like, I don't know, if I didn't know what this was about, I'm not sure I would have gotten it. I was like, okay. For me, it was about my relationship with the country and how our identities get wrapped up in that relationship, like we do with any relationship. You merge into one sometimes, and then how does that reshape how you define yourself? And so if you come from a place, you know, like I did, and my family, and my dad's from Afghanistan, and there's this whole generation of immigrants coming from Asia, you know, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, when they really opened the borders to that group of people, who really bought into the American dream and who came here. And, you know, my dad was a poor farmer's son. You know, most of his family was illiterate. And he came to America and he became a doctor. And that was like unthinkable for somebody coming from his background. And so we were always, you know, infused with that. You can do anything here. You can become anything. And this is how great America is. And then to be in this time period where we're having this huge awakening of all of the things that maybe we weren't taught in school, weren't exposed to, didn't know was happening. And but it's like, well, but wait, I was defining myself by all this greatness I believed that this was. And now I have to take a step back and redefine. And so for me, that's what the piece is about.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, I think it can be seen on so many different levels.
Yeah.
It can be seen on that level. It can be seen just as a straight up love story.
Absolutely.
And what happens in the gestation of a relationship. Look at the line that went across my face too. We're having all this craziness tonight, which I love. And look at all the light on my back wall that's coming in. That is DC right now. It is really something.
Amazing. Yeah.
During quarantine, you created a series of quarantine songs that cover subjects such as a woman in love with her hoodie and odes to New York, the good old New York. What caused you to create the songs? What was your creative inspiration? And how do you feel like your work with these quarantine songs may affect your post-quarantine creative process?
Well, like you were talking about with Juliette, I lost, you know, most of my work when everything hit. And I mourned for a couple of weeks. And then I felt, in a weird way, liberated from all that kind of like the stress and the challenges of the everyday rat race of making art in New York City. With that kind of stripped away, I found myself practicing Chopin again. And like, I would get to watch my, there's a group called Maestra Music, which is a female organization of female theater makers. And they were doing workshops for each other. And I would just, you know, twice a week, I would, you know, nestle in and watch a workshop and learn something. I bought an accordion. I was just suddenly able to kind of feed my spirit in a way that I hadn't in a really long time. And with that came, I guess, the humor of the reflection of the moment for me. And so, and it just, you know, I was like, had to do laundry and I had to take my sweatshirt off, and I took my sweatshirt off and I was like, I don't want to take my sweatshirt off, you know? And it just, I wrote the dumbest song about being in love with my sweatshirt. And then I was like, well, now I have to write a response that my sweatshirt has to sing back. And I was like, surely it's just going to be a love song. And as I started writing, I realized my sweatshirt was pissed. My sweatshirt's like, no, like, you ignored me like half the year and you throw me on the floor and now suddenly you can't live without me? Like, no. And my sweatshirt walks out on me, and then I had to end it. You know, like, I don't know. So I had all this time on my hands, and I just let my imagination do whatever it was going to do. So that's how the sweatshirt thing happened. But people, like, it resonated with people. It resonated.
Because we all love our sweatshirts now. We love our sweatshirts and we love our sweatpants.
Yeah.
We love our comfort.
We do. We need it. We needed it.
Do we still need it, Rona?
I mean, I'm surprised I'm not wearing it right now, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but we're coming out. I mean, we're coming out of it. So where are those glimmers of hope that you're feeling?
I mean, I feel like with the spring that's in the air, for you today more than me, because we've had rain all day, but the cherry blossoms are happening here now too. And I got to go to a string quartet concert in a courtyard last weekend that, I mean, my whole spirit just lifted, just live strings resonating in the air and hitting me in waves. We're communing again. We're coming together again, and it's only going to get, you know, more and more until you know, we're giving each other hugs in the rehearsal spaces again, and putting on shows for each other again. So it's coming. I
agree. You know, it's interesting to me because we've all been through the same thing. It's a different kind of the same thing. Some of us have lost people to COVID-19. Some of us have lost other family members. Some have contracted COVID. Some are getting the vaccine. And yet we've all been involved in this isolation and this ability to be able to look introspectively into ourselves. And what came out for you was a lot of new creativity.
Yeah.
Whether
Yes.
it was, yeah.
Which is going back to kind of that your original question, which I didn't really say, is that, yes, I found the fun again. I found the fun in writing again and creating. And I found a trust again in certain aspects of my voice that I was maybe not listening to before. And I think that is most acute for me, going back to the Arena Riffs piece, in the third piece, where I sat on 4 chords in the entire song, and I allowed that. I've never done that before. So like allowing myself to do things I've never done before, and just trusting that it's what is supposed to happen. So yeah, I found that trust in myself in this time.
Well, you flew with it, Rona. Many congratulations. And I feel like I know you now from spending different times with you online, but I can't wait to actually meet you in person.
Same, Molly. Same.
And
I truly can't thank you enough for this opportunity. It has meant the world to me. And I remember when you all first reached out, I was just like, oh, they probably want me to music direct a gala or something. You know, I was so blown away and so touched. And your trust in me, it just, like I said, it just meant the world. So thank you.
Well, you know, we listened to probably around, I don't know, 30 or 40 different composers. And everybody just loved your work, Rona. It just became clear that this is someone that we would love to commission. Your work is so melodic in its own way. And it also, I feel like it speaks to this generation. So many congratulations on it. I know people who are listening to the show are going to run out and hear it. And in just a moment, we're going to hear a little piece of it. But thank you so much for coming on, Rona.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And my guest next week will be Ken Ludwig. He's a Tony Award-winning playwright, including recently the Dear Jack, Dear Louise. And for those of you who have been getting the wonderful letters that have been coming in based on his play, it's really, really fun. And Jeannie Sakata, who is the actress and playwright, who you saw her play at Arena, hold these truths. She's a remarkable woman, and I think you'll really enjoy getting to know her. Tonight's gift of art features from Rona Siddiqui for Arena Riffs, A More Perfect Union. And what she drew on was inspiration from concept albums. And her story is told through a video audio piece that showcases the different phases of the emotional life cycle of a relationship, such as bargaining and acceptance. So enjoy this little moment and then go and watch the whole piece. See you next week.